2017 plus 1 equals 2018. Once again, it was another great year for FNaF. In 2017, the big boys grew even stronger than ever with the release of the Joy of Creation and Jolly 3, adding one more additional member to the gang. The two games also started two new trends in the FNaF community. Joy of Creation started the army of free roam games, and Jolly 3, well, gave us Jolly 3 style games. And this would continue into the year 2018, where I was able to catch one of these games. Damn, that looks gross. Five Nights at Leon's 3, the third game in the Five Nights at Leon's series, combining FNaF's sister location in Jolly 3 while adding some of its own ideas into the game. So, I have decided to review this game because it gives me bad memories when I think of it. So, without further ado, let's go! First, some basic knowledge. Five Nights at Leon's 3 is a sister location fangame combined with Jolly 3 elements. The game follows a similar flow like sister location, where we are given tasks by a machine like hand unit telling us what to do, alongside adding some additional changes to spice things up. The characters we're facing off are Leon, Crowy, Wolfie, a literal dog, and their alter egos, the Toy Gang, and a puppet, a mysterious endo, and lastly, a Springtrap dog. They are here to kill us, no shit, to prevent us from completing our job. Now, since it's a sister location type game, we'll go through each night individually and look how they play out and see if they make me want to kill myself. Your name is Omar, and you have become the new security guard of Leon's. You enter the elevator to the underground section of the location, and the first night begins. Night 1 works just like the first one in sister location, getting introduced by not the hand unit this time, but by the computer system, who we're gonna call Ronnie from now on. Who totally doesn't have the worst grammar I've ever seen in my life and has a childish voice. We basically check up on the three animatronics, Leon, Crowy, and Wolfie, to see how they're doing, and that basically sums up our first shift. The next night follows almost the same pattern as his location's night 2, checking on the same animatronic as we did before. But once we get into Leon's room, our shock button doesn't seem to work and fuck! Our power is out. And now Leon tells us to hide in the closet. Now in this scene, we are supposed to flash the light on Golden Leon before it's too late. After 2 minutes of doing nothing, Ronnie basically tells us that he couldn't fix the issue, and so now we have to do it ourselves by first going through Crowy's room, which works exactly like Laura, and then we enter the break room, where all we have to do is charge up the power and play the audio for the dog. And that was night 2. Kinda sucked. Basically, Ronnie tells us to go through Wolfie's room to send the white dog on a vacation. Yeah, he goes on vacation. The Wolfie room section is basically like Funtime Foxy, but if we hear his footsteps, we don't move at all. So the flash beacon is pretty useless in this one. Finally, we are entering the second floor. Yes, there are 2 floors in this goddamn facility. Once we've arrived in there, we need to find a key in the closet room that leads us to the generator room, and then we crank up that lever. But then all of a sudden, the first floor has a major power issue, and so we head to the left room where we face off against the puppet by winding up his music box and recharge up the room power thingy. Yeah, makes sense. And that's pretty much it. Night 5 is when it finally gets interesting, because...
Oh, hey!
And now we land in a different part of floor 2 where we get introduced by a different person named Max. Max tells us that Ronnie isn't doing so well, and so he tells us to see how the power is doing, and somehow the second floor has some power issues, and Max orders us to enter the boss's office and type in some codes so then the power will get restored. But before we can enter it, we must first pass through another dark room where we face off Tooie Crowy by turning off the flashlight and not moving at all. Finally, once we're in the boss's office, type in the codes and fend off Toy Leon with the flashlight. Job done. The final night. We land back in the same office as the previous night. Our next task, send Leon on a vacation. But as always, we first need to go through another room again. This time with Toy Wolfie and the dog, where we activate the jammer when we hear footsteps and not move when we see white eyes. Once that fiasco is over, Leon has a little chat with us and he goodbyes. So goodbye. The next part is an exact replica of Ennard from 6th location, although this time we already entered the restricted area. When Ronnie finds us out, he basically tells us to fuck off, and now we're dealing against a Springtrap like dog named Trap Dog. Shock him on either side and close the vent when he's about to come into our room. And there you go, night 6 is finished.
Wait, what? Bad ending? How do you get the good ending, Performer?
Yeah, that turns out to be a good and a bad ending the whole time.
Oh, how do you get the good ending, Performer?
Bro, shut the fuck, I'm not gonna do this shit.
Hello, Totally Former here once again, and today I'm gonna tell you on how to get the good ending in 5 Nights at Leon's 3. There's no time to spare, so let's begin. In order to obtain the ending, you have to click on various posters or type Crowy and Wolfie in their respective rooms, complete the mini-games and finish the night onwards. Once you have beaten night 6, you get probably one of the laziest good endings yet. Here's a quick summary for the people that didn't understand a single thing. Thanks for watching this episode of Totally Former's tutorial of the good ending. Now it's time to move on to the next part of the video.
And lastly, we have reached the custom night, which is unlocked from the start of the game, and I must say, this is better than the story mode. It has an actual good gameplay and isn't boring, and it's also difficult as fuck. Well, okay, but finally some challenge in the game after 6 boring nights of doing nothing. And now, 4 times the charm, thoughts, and opinions about this game. 5 Nights at Leon's 3 is more on the weaker side of the scale. The gameplay feels either slow or stale, and the only recommendation I can give is that you try out the custom night, since this is the only part of the game that actually has good gameplay and difficulty wise. The instructions to the good ending are also not clear whatsoever and just pure guessing. Oh yeah, and let's also add the terrible grammar mistakes that are throughout the whole game. And now, the question now is it worse than 5 Nights at Candy's? 4.5 out of 10. And in conclusion, so because nothing happened in 5 Nights at Leon's 3, I just wanted to show you guys that I got 3 stars on Dormitabus, and I just want to say, Dormitabus is honestly a pretty good game.